ABC. It's Merrick. And we are here to do a recent finds, acquisitions, pickups, arrivals video. So, no. I didn't get a video made last week, as some of you know. I had to go in for a surgery. Surgery went great. We're still trying to figure out what's going on exactly with me, what's causing all this shit, but surgery went well. And we do know that it's like nothing major or life-threatening, though at times I want to rip my fucking hair out. The living with like constant pain, and then sometimes the extent of the pain, I mean, you just want to fucking scream, you want to rip your hair out, there's nothing you can do. It's fucking agonizing. But anyway, without further ado, we got a good stack, so let's get to it. Alright, guys. Whew, god damn, this is a fine stack indeed. Alright, so first off, this is the first time this has been on vinyl in the US. I'm not too much into soundtracks. I don't often get soundtracks. But this is Songs from a Cool World. Or The Cool World, I'm sorry. This was a movie that came out in the 90s, I believe, that mixed live action with animation. I remember seeing it when I was younger, but honestly, I do not remember it. I think the movie might not have been great. I don't know, it had Brad Pitt in it, a very young Brad Pitt. This, I don't think you can tell. It's not exactly white. It's flesh-colored vinyl. So, anyway, I saw this advertised on one of my sites that I like to buy from, and I knew it was the first time it was available, but I went to stream it, and you can't. On Spotify, there's only a few of the songs are streamable, and that'll push me to buy something often. Especially, this sounded like it was going to be good, and I was not wrong. This thing is fucking pretty fantastic. Has a lot of electronic music, which isn't always my thing, but David Bowie is on it, and singing Real Cool World. For production on this, he was reunited with Miles. I can't remember his full name, but he's the guy he worked with for the Young Americans album. No, I'm sorry, the Let's Dance album. And there's Thompson Twins on this, Ministries on this, The Cult, and then multiples of my life with the Thrill Kill Cult, which I do like that band. Moby, Mindless, some more Moby, Brian Eno, Tom Bailey, and a lot of stuff you might not have heard of unless you're into EDM, I'm guessing. But this album is pretty fucking cool. I'm imagining you can go onto YouTube and hear it. I'd recommend going and giving it a listen. I mean, you know me and my fucking Bowie obsession. I kind of had to have it. Just for that. I know it's pathetic. If any of you don't know, Tin Machine 2 is getting repressed by Music on Vinyl. Currently, you can get it at Pop Market or Townsend Music. I think if you get it from Pop Market, you're not going to spend on shipping. It's going to be shipped from here. I stupidly bought it immediately upon announcement when only Townsend Music stores had it, and I'm, paying $20 for shipping, but I don't care. I'm getting the record. I could have saved $20. Whatever. It is what it is. It's too late. I'm not going to go cancel it and order it from someone else. That kind of shit makes me nervous, but I like Townsend music. They've always gotten me what I ordered pretty quickly, considering they're overseas. You know, it is what it is. But Tin Machine 2 is coming out. The first press is on silver vinyl. The cover's unedited, which it wasn't. It was edited upon its first release. And the artist that worked with Bowie on the cover of Tin Machine is also the artist that worked with him on Scary Monsters album. All right. Anyway, next up, speaking of Bowie, we have Bowie. This is a reality tour. This was the last tour David did. As many of you know, he had a minor heart attack towards the end of the tour, and he did not know what the future held for him as far as music went. And when he actually went in to record the next day, his next album, 7 years later, it was under a guise of secrecy because he didn't want pressure to put the album out. He didn't want pressure to finish it. So his artist had to sign an NDA, which is the first time in their lives they'd ever had to sign an NDA working with Bowie. Because as you see the bassist there, I forget her name. She's worked with Bowie a lot. She also worked with him on The Next Day, and on parts of Black Star, I believe. Maybe not though. Black Star was mainly done with this jazz quartet. Cool little poster. I never know what to do with these, you know, like 11 by 23 posters. It's not like you have. I mean, I'm sure there's frames for them, but anyway. Yeah, Bowie reality tour. The set list on this thing, it's an amazing record. Yeah, granted, I paid $90 for it, but that's the price. It's a triple album. This is on blue vinyl, as I just showed you. I'm very happy with this purchase. Very happy with this record. Man, let me tell you, the set list on this thing. Oops. Man, you can go look up the set list. I don't want to sit here and read the whole damn thing. But you've got all the hits. You know, everything you would expect off those first 5 albums. Not 5 albums. I don't know where that number came from. First 100 albums. That's better. Closer to the truth anyway. But yeah, and then some stuff off of Reality. Whoops. Which is an album I really, really like by Bowie as well. So, yeah. Fucking great. Alright, next up is an album I'd been meaning to get for a while. And the Vinyl Guru... I don't know how, I don't remember how, but she reminded me to pull the trigger, I guess. This is an amazing soul album, and it's a current soul outfit. You know, and I know these days we don't have a lot of amazing soul. This is Black Pumas. This is the Newberry Comics edition. The letters are textured and glow in the dark. If you have not heard these guys, I recommend going on YouTube and watching the video for colors, and then I recommend going on Spotify and streaming this album. It is phenomenal. Current, you know, contemporary soul. It is amazing. This was on Glow in the Dark Wax. I really can't show you the glow in the dark, or the, you know, the greenish color of the glow in the dark, but you all know it. You're familiar with it. Black Pumas. This came out in 2019, and just today they released a new single on Spotify. 2 new singles. Next up, we have an album I pre-ordered a while back. This album came out in 3 legs, part 1, part 2, and part 3, all a month or 2 apart. And so this album started getting released on streaming services probably 6 months ago, maybe 4 months ago. This is Hayley Williams of Paramore, Petals for Armor. This is a really intimate, beautiful pop album, and she hasn't left Paramore behind. They're involved heavily on the production of this album, but it's a much more personal album for her. A much more spiritual and solo venture in many ways. So anyway, this was released on her website on a box set of 10 inches. So you'd get 3 10 inches, and the 3 of them were each leg of the album. And I didn't order that. This is the Urban Outfitters exclusive on pink, as you saw, and it's limited to 4,000. Of course, there's still some left. Really good album. It's a great album. I don't love it as much as a lot of people do. I mean, it's getting, Paramore fans are just raving about it. I never was a Paramore fan. What got me was when this first hit YouTube, and so a couple of these singles I really loved, like Simmer, and then the videos, and she just released so many videos, like video diaries and, production videos and all kinds of shit. So you really got to kind of get an intimate portrait of her and the music being made, and it was a lot of fun. And she talks about a lot of real personal issues on this album. It's great. It's great pop music. All right, next up. An album I have been not pulling the trigger on for over a year. I remember walking through Barnes & Noble and wanting to buy this well over a year ago, and I just never did. What made me pull the trigger was watching Rocket Man, because that finally hit streaming services that I have. I think I watched it on Hulu or HBO, one of the two. But, boom, this is Elton John, Diamonds. If you haven't seen the movie Rocket Man, it is really great. It's amazing. It's a biopic, but it's also a musical, pretty much, and it's fantastic. I'm not a big musical fan. I'm not a big, fan of plays, and man, fantastic movie. Now I'm blanking the name of the actor who plays Elton, but everyone in the movie does their own singing, and this guy does a phenomenal job of covering Elton John songs. And the dance, the choreography in this movie is amazing. I got this on the Blue Diamonds wax. On the back, there's a little piece written by Elton and a little piece written by Bernie, his songwriting partner. Inside, on the printed inner sleeves, there are little personal blurbs about every song, which is cool. I love hearing an artist's thoughts on their songs, whether at the time or so much later. Here we have some iconic Elton, moments and outfits. Which the movie was full of iconic outfits. It was amazing. All right. Printed inner sleeves, like I said. See, you get a little blurb on every song, and they're shown there with the singles. And on this, Elton talks about how they weren't writing singles, they were writing albums. It just so happened they were churning out the popular music, and I've always loved Elton John. I grew up on his music. I mean, this album, from the moment it kicks off, is just flames. Oh my God. Your Song, Tiny Dancer, Rocket Man, Crocodile Rock, Daniel, Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Candle in the Wind, Benny and the Jets, Someone Saved My Life Tonight, and that's just the first record. Don't Go Breaking My Heart, Sorry Seems to Be the Hardest Words, I'm Still Standing, I Love Still Standing, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, and there's some I missed. I just, went over them. But, I mean, that first record alone is, God damn, it's good. It just doesn't stop. I mean, I could listen to disc 1 of this thing just over and over and over and over and over. Phenomenal record. What happened was, a couple of videos ago, I showed the Stevie Wonder Greatest hits or number ones I bought at Target. And that record ended up sounding like shit. There was no bass, no dynamics. It sounded tinny. It sounded like my speakers were tin cans. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but it sounded like crap. So I took it back to Target and didn't get this. My wife actually ordered that for me. She tried to get it for me while I was in surgery, but they were sold out. They didn't have any in the store. And they had them a few days before. So she tried to get me a present, and it didn't work out. But she ordered it for me. I got it a few days later. So when I went back to Target, and I went, I think they had a couple in mind that Target had, but I was worried about getting a Target exclusive. I've heard good things, but that one just sounded bad, and that was the only Target exclusive I'd had experience with, the Stevie Wonder. But I was lucky enough to grab a record I've been wanting for a while, and it's not a Target exclusive. This is Abbey Road, the anniversary edition. I don't have a lot of Beatles. I'm slowly working on my Beatles collection. I mean, you all know Abbey Road. I don't need to take this out. You got the Apple labels. I Want You, She's So Heavy is one of my favorite Beatles songs. I mean, this is just a fantastic record. I think the new mix by Giles and Sam O'Kell sounds great. This is Apple capital UME. I mean, great release. What can I say that you guys don't know about Abbey Road? Probably nothing. All right, next up. This is one of the albums I got from Sacred Bones Records. Okay? They're a label I discovered because of this next artist I'll show you. And I end up doing a lot of exploring on their website, listening to some bands. This is a band that started out on the New York punk scene, hardcore noise scene. So check this out. The records come in this like envelope that is wax sealed. And then they also came in their own outer sleeve too. So I didn't have to put an outer sleeve on. So pretty cool wax seal. That's the record label's logo right there. And then it seems like the sleeve is going to be the color of the vinyl too, because this is a green. Nope, never mind. I lied. This is purple. All right. This is the Men. Mercy. This is a band out of New York who made their way playing noise, punk. Punk and like noise punk. They've been around for maybe 20 years, maybe a little less. This is probably their 10th studio album, maybe more. And this is their newest release. I also have their previous release coming. But they've moved away from the punk noise scene. This is on the sticker it said, if you're a fan of The Replacements or Tom Petty or Big Star. I am not a big fan of any of those artists, so I couldn't tell you how alike they are. But this is just some amazing kind of contemporary, amazing keyboards on this thing. I don't even know how to explain the type of music. Maybe go on to Spotify and check out The Men. Again, this was from Sacred Bones label. If you ever order from them, it's going to take a long time. I guess the Brooklyn post office is just, that's how it is. Shit takes forever. This is on marbled purple. Really phenomenal album. I mean, it's good. I don't always listen to albums before I buy them. If it's something I've never heard, I kind of like to, if I know I'm gonna like it, I kind of like to be surprised, and the first time I'm hearing it is when it's on my table, sounding just beautiful. This is Analog Source. It was recorded on tape. This label is pretty old school. They're pretty damn awesome. And but I did stream it before I listened to it, and I fell in love with it immediately. Great record. Next, the other half of my Sacred Bones. You guys may remember a few weeks ago I showed this record. This amazing experimental psychedelic pop record from the actor Caleb Landry Jones. He is the brother in Get Out, the freaking amazing horror movie of 2018 or 2017. This was the Vinyl Me Please, hand numbered Vinyl Me Please edition of 300 on that. Okay? So, not something I normally do, but I am so in love with this fucking record that I ordered a second variant. This is just the outer envelope. There's that seal, wax seal I was talking about. Yes, and this is my second copy of Caleb Landry Jones. The only other variant available of this is Sacred Bones through their site. They have like a package you can get for like $115. And it's like 7 or 8 records, all exclusives that only come through that package. So the exclusives of this is a purple and green split. Looks amazing, but it's going to take some time before I'm willing to do that, because that's a good chunk of money, and then it's a lot of artists that I am unfamiliar with. And I knew that one of the artists I wasn't, or maybe it's only 5 records, I don't know. Check their site out. One of the artists I knew I wasn't particularly, crazy about her music. It just wasn't my style. But all in all, there are 800 colored variants of that record. 300 from VMP, 250 of each variant that's available through the label. Okay, let's take a drink of water. We're almost done, guys. We are almost done. Next up, we have an album that I've put off getting for a long time. Now, I'm not going to talk about a lot of the specifics of this album because there's a guy who can explain it so much better than me who put out a video just today. His name is Dylan. He is the record spinner, a young man with an extensive knowledge of rock and roll, classic rock, prog rock, psych rock. Anyway, boom. Jack White, Lazaretto. This album is a phenomenal record. It's not my favorite Jack White, but that isn't saying a lot. Jack White is a phenomenal musician, doing a lot for the vinyl industry and the music industry. Dude is an amazing artist and, inspirational. And he has 2 pressing plants, one in Nashville, one in Detroit. And the stuff they press is high quality. This was pressed before Jack White got his own, but very quickly. So side A plays from the inside out. Yeah, plays from the inside out. We've got a hologram on the record. Side B is, this is also a flat edge. Side B is like matte black. It's supposed to look like an old 78. Side B has some really special stuff going on with the first track. And then also each side has a song under the label. And one of those songs was a cool ass little I'm Your Pusher. Fucking solid. I'd never heard it till Dylan's video. So if you want to learn some awesome shit about this album and this pressing, check out Dylan at the Record Spinner. That was Jack White's Lazaretto. Okay. Lately, I've been starting to give a push to my Jack White. So, I've bought some white stripes. I've got some white stripes coming. I'm looking at getting some Dead Weather soon. He's a phenomenal musician. Anyway, okay. Next up, one of my favorite rappers. One of the most skilled in the industry. He's a veteran. He's been around for a long time. Hands down, one of the best in the game, and he's so overlooked. He's not underrated. By the people that listen to him, he's properly rated. It's just, he never really broke big, and, he makes very unique, smart rap. This is Aesop Rock. Aesop Rock. This is music from the game Freedom Finger. I'm sorry. I always almost say Finger Blaster because of that fucking South Park episode. So recently, Aesop was, approached about making music for this video game. Fucking amazing little soundtrack. Only 3 of these actually have lyrics, but everything is produced by by Aesop and then a couple of his buddies, but I forget what their group is called. Fun, cool little soundtrack. Drums on the Wheel has a video on YouTube, and it's an amazing song. He is such a smart rapper, and he is amazing. I mean, look him up on YouTube, and you can find some videos that break down his bars and just how amazing he is. I wanted to jump on this and get this because Colored Variants from him, that's the color of vinyl that it's on. Orange, clear with orange splatter. Oh my god. So I made my own little 10-inch sleeves, as you can see here. And on this one, I taped it too tight. So I had trouble getting that record out. Yes. I don't normally buy 10 inches or 7 inches. And my thought is that if I spend the money and buy a whole pack of them, it is literally going to take me 20 years to use all those sleeves. In a year, in just over this last year, 18 months, I've gotten 2 10-inch records and only a handful of 7-inch. I mean, it's going to take me years to use those. So I fashioned my own. The outer sleeve seemed to work pretty well. Looks good. Inner sleeve, not so well. Might have been easier if I used a square, not a rounded bottom one. But anyway. Almost done, guys. I swear. I swear it. Next up is an amazing folk album. World music. I don't generally listen to folk. It's not my thing. But this is some great, amazing singer-songwriter stuff. This is J.S. Andara, Tales of America. I believe this young man is a Nigerian immigrant. He's in his early 20s, and he came over here to write songs. And he did write some songs. This is on Verve Forecast. This was the dirtiest record I've ever bought. The record itself and the printed inner sleeve were filthy. I cleaned the record and then laid it on top of the inner sleeve while I was doing something, and I picked it back up and it was almost as dirty as before I cleaned it. It's fucking crazy. But yeah, there's a little story on the back, but it's written kind of in prose, but kind of talks about who he is and what he's doing, how he ended up here, why he ended up here. And I believe this is his debut album. This came out in 2018. He has another album out. It just came out, I think, and it was written from quarantine. I forget what it's called, but I think the title itself and most of the song titles have directly to do with quarantine. If you have not heard that album, This album is phenomenal, man. It American Dream, Torch Song, Days of Insanity, Television Girl, Lebanon, Master O'Connor. Oh God, Master O'Connor is great. This album, if you like folk music, if you like singer-songwriter, please go stream this record. It is, the dude has an amazing voice. An amazing voice. All right, next up, an album I have been put off getting because I wanted the variant, and anytime I'd ran into it in the wild, I just never, it'd never been the variant, and I never ordered it online just because there was so much other stuff I had to order. But recently I watched a video documentary that came out about this record, and it reinvigorated my excitement about this album, my appreciation for it. This is Beyonce's Lemonade. Beyonce? Yes, most of you have never seen me show a Beyonce record because I never have. This album is amazing. This is the album she wrote when she found out her husband Jay-Z was cheating on her, and all the emotions she went through, all the personal shit she went through, coming to terms with it as a person, making the decision, how to go on. There's a video, I think by Middle 8, I can't remember, this channel. If I remember, I'll link it down below. I'll end up linking down below at some point, but where he goes through every song, and this is also on YouTube. When she released this, she released it in video form. So there's a video that goes along with the entire album. And I mean, this thing's amazing, groundbreaking, amazing record. And it came with a book, and this is going to show you mainly just imagery from the entire video, the entire album. So she goes through, surprise, denial, anger, hurt, so many different emotions on this album. Oh God, I wish I knew more to say, but after watching that video, I feel like anything I say is just not enough. In this album, she reflects on her marriage and reflects on the man that she married, and is it worth going on? She's reflecting on years, on centuries, on generations of black pain, and what the struggles of black women, and the struggles of black families, and in context of kind of what they've become or had to become, or in this society of systemic racism. I mean, this album is phenomenal. I'm pretty sure it won a shit ton of awards, and for good reason. Beyonce, Lemonade. Next up, on another side, I was able to grab another Bowie 7-inch picture disc for $7. This is Alabama Song and Joe the Lion. Pretty rockin', right? I don't even buy these to listen to. I buy them just to have. At first I was like, I'll just get all Bowie's studio albums, but the more and more and more I just dive into Bowie, I listen to him more than any other artist since I discovered, since I really got into him. And I want everything. I want it all. I want every Bowie I can get. So, speaking to that, something I don't always buy is live albums, but as you saw with Reality, I'm needing to get the live albums. Boo. This is David Bowie Live Santa Monica 72. This thing's amazing. This was the Ziggy Stardust tour, and this was about 10 shows into the American tour. And I mean, this thing is pretty raw. It was a bootleg for a long time, and now it's an official release. But this was really raw. It's really raw. It's kind of heavy. I kind of love that. I mean, you can really hear the instrumentation on this album. You can really hear the guitar. Sometimes the piano gets lost, but then at other times it's in your face and just raw and beautiful. This album is just great, and the set list. But I mean, some of these songs sound better than they do on the studio albums to me. Just the guitar's more prominent. It's a much rawer, much more rock album. So the set list is just from Space Oddity, Man Who Sold the World, and Ziggy Stardust, basically, and a couple others. Yeah, I don't know, but there, I'll show you the set list. Introduction, Hang On to Yourself, Ziggy Stardust, Changes, the Superman, Life on Mars, 5 Years, Space Oddity, Andy Warhol. It's an amazing version of this. My Death, The Width of a Circle, Queen Bitch, Moon Age Daydream, I'm Only Dancing, or John, I'm Only Dancing, Waiting for the Man, The Genie, Suffragette City, and Rock and Roll Suicide. Of course, that was how he was ending all his shows back then. Fucking phenomenal live performance. Came on these printed sleeves. And Mick Ronson. Great record. It's just on black vinyl. And of course, this is Parlophone. Parlophone has been doing all the re-releases in his catalog. Almost everything I bought of Bowie has been Parlophone. Oh, except that Reality, both Realities, the live and the studio version, those are Friday Music. But yeah, that's it. So this week I should have a couple contest videos coming out. There's a few contests I want to get into and show my support for those channels. And yeah, other than that, it'll be a lot easier once the kids are back in school. I have so little free time, and then the free time I have, it's hard to get a video made when my house is a madhouse, with kids and animals and adults and everything going on. It's hard to find the time or peace to make a video. So granted, while school starting is a few months away at the earliest, because kind of who knows what's going on right now, but once school starts, I'll be able to make more content rather than just showing my recent purchases, which I know those can get, they're cool to see. Actually, one of my favorite is to see everyone's new purchases. But I'd like to get some more themed videos coming out, participate in some more threads. I've got a Stephen King book collection, and I know a lot of you guys are into that. So I'm at 190 something subscribers. That's shaking the camera, isn't it? That is. Soon, I promise soon, I will be making my video for my contest. There will be video entries. We'll get you multiple entries. And then there's also going to be a way to enter through Instagram, which if you make a video entry, that means you're already subscribed. So the Instagram is just for people can come over, and if they subscribe, it'll get them 1 entry into the contest. But making a video will get you like 3 entries. And then we'll just pull names until, you know, there's none left. And it's going to be a $50 Amazon card at the least, or maybe a $50 Amazon card and maybe some sort of second prize. And at that time is when I'll probably unveil my channel's name change and start that process. I don't want to do it till then, because when you go to change your name on your channel, it takes a while, and then all of a sudden, boom, your channel name changes. So it's a weird time to do it, but I figure with the contest entry one, it'll kind of alert all of you guys plus new subscribers, and then you'll all be ready for the name change. And everyone who cares will be subscribed anyway, and then I'll just pop up in your feed as a different name. So yeah, all right, I've been blathering long enough. Thanks for putting up with my bullshit, VC. I fucking love you guys. Take care, stay safe,